Hi, good morning. This is Elizabeth Griffin, your independent author from South Philadelphia. Thank you for coming back to my channel and supporting me. As always, I'm happy to share my information with you and I appreciate your attention. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so now. All subscriptions are appreciated and it helps me to get more exposure on YouTube. Definitely leave me a thumbs up if you like this video, and definitely leave me comments below letting me know what you like and what you don't like and things that you want me to talk about in the future. So today's video is going to be about controversial characters. And the thought came to me this morning when I was looking at my social media accounts. And I noticed that on one of the accounts, someone unsubscribed to my platform. And it got me to thinking about reasons why people would subscribe and unsubscribe. And I've unsubscribed to other people's stations depending on the content and depending on whether I wanted to be associated with their content and whether I wanted to support them. So it's very valid that a person can be interested in you and then decide to change their mind about following you. I understand that. But this particular person that unsubscribed, it caused me to think about certain things because I made a video that was controversial a couple of days ago, and I wondered before I posted the video what the repercussions would be publishing it. And the video that I'm talking about is the one where I mentioned Candace Owens. And I mentioned that I thought she was interesting and that I was interested in hearing her viewpoints. And I was interested in seeing how she would pursue her life and how she would continue her life and what the outcome of her career would be. And because she's such a controversial person and because she's a Republican and a Black Republican, there are people that support her and then there are people that don't support her. My position is I think she's interesting. I think what she has to say should be heard. I think not only with her, there are going to be a lot of people that I don't agree with their opinions, but I don't want to silence them. I want to try to understand their logic and where they're coming from and why they have the opinions that they do. And as a writer, I think you need to have an open mind, and I think you need to be exposed to other opinions that are different from yours, and that you should have an open mind so that you can expand your writing and that you can present different characters in your writing. So I don't know why this particular person unsubscribed my channel. I do know that that particular person pursued me in a social setting, and that's how the interaction between myself and this person occurred. So it's not a random person that I don't know. This is a person that pursued me and wanted to follow me on a particular platform. And so that's the only reason the unsubscribing caught my attention. And as I said, when I posted the video, I knew people wouldn't approve of me mentioning this woman. They wouldn't approve of my opinion of her. And this is all speculation. I really don't know why the person unsubscribed, but these are my feelings. And so it made me think about this particular video and how in writing, I have controversial characters. And as a writer, you may want to create controversial characters in your stories. And it's up to you to determine how political you want to go in your writing. And it's up to you to determine whether you feel that the repercussions of writing about a particular character or a particular topic, whether it be God, whether it be religion, whether it be some of the atrocities that have happened in the past, such as the things that the atrocities that happened to the Jews and the atrocities that happened to African Americans and the Japanese in the internment camps. There's so many atrocities that have occurred in our country. And I think as a writer, we, if we choose to write about these topics, we have the freedom to write about them. But along with that freedom, we're going to get lashback. We're going to get people that don't approve of what we're saying or how we're saying, or they may be limited in their thinking on the topic. So for me, when I decide to write about a character, I don't think about what other people will think. I don't entertain their opinions. It's how important is this story to me to tell? How important is this character to this story? And then with writing, you want that realism, you want that truthism. And so I don't think about other people's opinions when I write. I think about, am I being true to myself? Am I being honest in the writing? And then I make a decision. Do I want to deal with any of the consequences that come from my writing? So when writing, you need to consider the ethical side of creating a character. At least I believe this. And you also need to be true to yourself and true to your story. You need to weigh your options and your opinions, and also weigh the weight of the person that you may be offending. If it's someone on social media that you will never see again, or that you will never interact with them on a personal level, then their opinion doesn't really count. It doesn't really matter, pardon me. It doesn't really matter, because it's not going to affect your life in the long run. Your life outside of social media is not going to affect it. So you determine for yourself whether you want to write about a controversial character, and whether it is important to your story. And some examples of controversial characters in my stories, in case you're wondering, one is an African dictator that has a large role in one of my medical stories. It's called The School of Scrubs. And one of my characters, main characters, is engaged to a dictator of an African country. And it shows that some dictators can have the interests of their people in the forefront of their actions. Some dictators can be thinking of their patriotism. They can be thinking about their country. They could be thinking about the people that they are supposed to protect. So all terrorists, I'm sorry, not terrorists, all dictators cannot be lumped together. I don't believe. Yes, you have some dictators that are atrocious, and some dictators that are just self-centered and don't care about anyone other than themselves and their wealth. But I wanted to show a different side of a dictator. And I loved, if any of you have ever watched Tyrant, I loved the first season, the second season. I thought that was an interesting story. I thought it was told from a different perspective. And I think storytelling should be about that. It should be about writing about the things that are difficult, the things that aren't easy to digest, the things that make us uncomfortable. So in The School of Scrubs, I have a dictator that has a major part in one of the stories. I also have an albino, which, as I mentioned in my earlier video, in Africa, they are considered to be good luck as well as bad luck. And I wanted to talk about that topic, being an albino in Africa, and some of the things that that the character has to deal with. Also, in Scrubbalicious, I have a white racist surgeon, and people will view her, some people will hate her, some people will like her, some people will agree with some of her points of view. But I just wanted to show different people's views, their perspectives, and then let you as the reader determine what you think about them. But all characters are not black and white. All characters are not all good and all bad. There is a variety of different aspects to a person, and so you can't just categorize them as one way. We're three-dimensional people. We think about different topics in different ways, and so I wanted to express that in my writing. Also, does God have a place in your writing? Some people think he does. Some people think he doesn't. I think depending on what story you're telling, what point you're trying to prove, or what purpose you're trying to fulfill, if God needs to be in your story, then he should be in your story. If other religions need to be in your story and express or represent your story, it's up to you as a creator to determine that, and and to figure out how to write it. I think you should be sensitive in presenting, let's say, religions that you're not familiar with. I think you should definitely do your research. You should get your facts right, or as close to right as possible, and then tell a true story. Tell a story that's true to you. Another thing, I think that storytelling is ongoing, and you as a writer are developing your craft, and you're developing your skills and your talents. So we're not going to always get it right, but we try to be true to ourselves and true to the craft. If you appreciate this video, definitely give me a thumbs up, remember. And also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I hope this wasn't a video that rambled on, but it got me to thinking about controversial characters, and they're important in our stories. And everything is not a happily ever after. And there are so many different things that go on in the world that are uplifting, and as well as depressing. But I think covering it in a fictitious world, a safe world where you can explore ideas and thoughts, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. So definitely, as I said, follow me on the different social media platforms. Also, I'm a writer, as you know, and if you are interested in looking at some of my work, or listening to some of my audiobooks, or getting some of my ebooks, my books are available on Overdrive, both audio and ebooks. And definitely go to your libraries, request my material. It's under Elizabeth Griffin, and it's also under E.F. Griffin. So you can definitely support me in that way. You don't have to go out and spend money to support me. You don't have to go on Amazon, which I'm available there, or Barnes & Noble, or Kobo, or Smashwords. You can go to the library and you can request my material, and they will order it. And when they order it, I get a large percentage of the money. Because they're libraries, they and because they rent out my material, I get a nice percentage. So definitely support me in that way. And if you appreciate my content, definitely continue to come back to my channel. Tell your friends about me. And as always, love, peace, joy, and happiness. Bye-bye.